it's quite concerning that a lot of money that had been set aside for the purposes of building houses for people seems to have ended up in the hands of various suppliers and maybe contractors. More than 500 million, I think I was told by Mr. Mokhetsi, and yet no houses were built in regard to that particular allocation for that financial year, 2010 to 2011. And the money should have benefited ordinary people. They should have got houses, but they didn't get any houses. And yet government had set aside a huge amount of money, 1.3 billion rand. So it's very concerning because the government is there to ensure that the people get the services they need. Now, it's not just this matter where I'm hearing this kind of evidence, where a lot of money has been set aside for things to be done that would benefit people, but the money ends up with other people, and the people who are supposed to have benefited from that money or what that money was to be used for, do not get anything. Within the context of the Free State, I had a few weeks ago evidence relating to what we have termed the asbestos project, where the documents that were issued by the Department of Human Settlements, same department, indicated that they were giving a contract to a certain joint venture in order to ultimately remove asbestos from the roofs of various houses because it's dangerous and so on. I had evidence that the job could have been done with about 21 million rand. But the provincial government gave this particular joint venture about 250 million rand for a 21 million rand job. On the evidence I've heard so far, there is very little, if any, work that the joint venture did. It just got subcontractors. Actually, it's the first subcontractor also didn't do any job. Only the third subcontractor did the job. If the joint venture and the first subcontractor just pocketed the money. But to make it worse, there was no removal of asbestos from the roofs of the houses of people. There was simply the counting of houses that happened. Leave that aside. I've had evidence about what's been referred to as the Friede Dairy Farm, the Estina project that's well known. A project that was meant to benefit a lot of black farmers, people who wanted to do farming to earn a living. There too, the people who were supposed to be beneficiaries to benefit from that project, I had evidence that they never got anything. and yet millions and millions of rands were paid out by the government, Free State provincial government, and that money ended in the hands of other people, and the real people who were supposed to benefit did not get anything. It's very concerning. This doesn't necessarily mean the Free State provincial government was the worst, because we haven't had evidence from other provinces and how other provincial governments fared. And we will not, because that kind of job needs years to do. So we will not know. But my own thinking is that if one went around the provinces, one would find a lot of projects where money that was supposed to benefit ordinary people ends up in the pockets of some people, and the ordinary people get nothing. It's very worrying. So I'm just mentioning that. But as I hear all of this evidence, here is something that troubles me quite a lot, because the people who are supposed to be taken care of end up receiving no benefits, and yet their money, because it's taxpayers' money, gets paid to other people. I guess, Mr. Muklashwa, you might not be able to say anything, and I'm not inviting you to say anything. I'm just saying that it's most frustrating to hear what I hear in this commission. And there seems to be no indications that it's slowing down. Instead, it looks like there are some people who say they don't care. They will also get their fair share out of corruption. We will call you if we need you again, Mr. Matlashwa. Thank you very much for coming to give evidence. You are now excused.
Thank you, Chair.